Hey, yo, friends. It's your buddy Shawn the Butcher and Vertebrae 33 in Madness Pod. How's it going?
Shawn, what's going on? I will tell you right now. I will avenge you, father. I will save you, mother. I will kill you, Fjolnir.
I'm just going Fjorner. That's what I'm going my white boy Fjorner way.
Fjolnir, right?
Fjorner? I don't know. It says Fjorner on the subtitle. So
This is when we get our first 2-star review. When somebody
exactly.
Goes in, like, you're supposed to talk about a movie and you can't even pronounce the main character's name.
Yeah, that's my opening argument with this movie is there's a lot of language in this film that I will do my best to decipher if we make it through Snowmageddon. By the time this episode drops, it'll either have been a goddamn snow massacre, or as my man Capozzi was saying 12 hours ago, it's gonna be an inch and a half. What are you kidding me?
Of course he was. Of
Capozzi's
course
bets
he
are
was.
on it not happening. So I gotta ask quickly, Vertebrae, Snowmageddon, happening or not happening? Also, Vertebrae hates it when I call it Snowmageddon.
I don't like the name Snowmageddon, but this is happening, Shawn, and I am so ready and excited for this. I've been thinking about it all week. I'm tapped in, found some dude on YouTube who does his own alternate weather forecasting, I'm excited. I want I don't know, give me 15, 16 inches of snow, Shawn. Let's go. Let's go.
Obviously, I'm ready. Peeking behind the curtain, we're clearly recording this seconds before this storm is or is not about to happen.
Before we lose power, we are recording this episode.
That was the main thing. I'm like, we got to get this shit done before my power goes out for 4 days, and I'm sitting here in the cold with the cat frozen to me. This is episode, to my best of my knowledge, 147 of the premier podcast, In Madness Pod, on the socials at In Madness Pod, inmadnesspod@gmail.com. Check us out on YouTube. It's not only from mom and dad anymore, it's for you as well to like and subscribe and comment and give us the 5-star reviews. Check out the In Madness Spotify playlist. I'm sorry, I didn't add the Manson song. If you really want that Manson song on there, I'll put it on the playlist.
Wrapped in plastic. How did you not know it?
Happy In Madness Monday. Happy Snowmageddon. If you're listening, we drop a new episode every single Monday. Spread the madness, spread the tentacles worldwide. So when they send us, when NASA on Instagram posts those cool pictures of Earth, what you'll see is tentacles wrapped around the Earth from now on. And those will be the In Madness tentacles. You can get yourself a shirt and a Christmas mug. InMadness.com. What mug do you have for this week's episode?
Appropriate mug for today, Shawn.
Snowflake mug.
Big old kind of earthen snowflake mug. So it's a little, even this snowflake, the way it's done, a little like a Viking graphic kind of.
It does look kind of like,
a little bit. So I am all in. You're listening on Monday, you're trapped in your house. So I think we're about to give you more than 45 minutes to listen to.
This was
we're helping you out.
Pick, ladies.
I apologize for this. Shawn picks movies that we can breeze
through.
The
movie I picked previous to this, I think, was the exact same length as this movie, but these podcasts will be very different.
Yes, it's kind of stuff, and you're guiding us, so I'll see how quickly we go through it, but it's just a lot.
The reason you can't breeze through this at all is, spoiler alert, because it's fucking Robert Eggers. And with Robert Eggers, no detail is unnecessary. Right. Everything is very deliberate.
Right. So here we are, Shawn. We're doing the last Robert Eggers film that we haven't done yet on the podcast. He has one coming out later this year, which we'll do, Werewolf. But here we are with The Northman, which came out in 2022. So he does... what's he do first? He does The Witch, is his first film, right? Then he does The Lighthouse.
Check it out on In Madness Pod.
Then he does The Northman.
Check it out right now.
And then Nosferatu.
Already on In Madness Pod.
So we haven't. This is the last one to cover. Directed by him, based on a legend, Shawn. So he always does his research, and it's very interesting legend of Amleth. And I'm going to butcher these names, but from Gesta Danorum by this famous writer slash historian and Saxo Grammaticus. What a fantastic name for somebody who writes Grammaticus. Score, incredible score, composed by Robin Carolyn. I have it on vinyl. It's sitting. You can't see it, but it's
we'll post it on the socials.
Yeah, I have it right here.
There you go. Check it out, Mom and Dad. Check out Vertebrae.
There you go. It's this is the Sacred Bones edition, which is our buddy John Carpenter's record label.
Sick.
And it's a really cool score, which combines like Nordic folk sounds and like modern electronic stuff. And that comes out April 2022. So it's very cool. As always with Eggers, right? He does a ton of research. They build. We're not going to go into it. There is a making of book, but he's building like a ton of these sets, and it's dirty and muddy and cold. And so this legend that's recorded here is about a prince whose father is murdered by his uncle, but then marries the prince's mother. And then Amleth acts like he's crazy, plots his revenge, killing his uncle, becoming king. And this tale is also the main inspiration for Shakespeare's Hamlet. So what Eggers always does is he's going to take what you know and then take it one step back for what's the inspiration for what you know. Right. So he did that with Nosferatu, where he's going to give you on the surface what we kind of know. And then he's going to dive into all these other, beliefs and folklore and give you that too. Chock full cast, Shawn. Alexander Skarsgård, Nicole Kidman, Anya Taylor-Joy, Ethan Hawke, William Dafoe, Bjork. It's just a ton of names. Ralph Ineson is in there. They just start showing up, and Eggers has done a great job of building this world of actors and actresses or actors that he uses throughout.
It's like a Tarantino world.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Most of the filming takes place in Northern Ireland. So they're going to build this, much like The Lighthouse. They're going to build all the sets and stuff. So it was just easier for them to kind of do it there. And it's interesting. They had advisors on the film that are going to know kind of this stuff inside and out. And, we'll get into it as we go along. But as always, it's chock full. We're going to give you the surface level discussion on this. There's much more that you could dive into if you wanted. Pull apart the making of book, talk about all these other sort of like Viking folklore stories. Shawn, I'll say, I was never like a big like Viking culture person.
Our buddy, a close personal friend of the podcast, Richard Christie, fucking loves Amon Amarth and like Viking things.
Yeah. And I think like, although I'm into a lot of black metal and Nordic black metal and things like that, I think I stop there. I'm more the sad black metal guy that sits in the corner and nobody talks to him than the guy who's going to triumphantly wage war on somebody. So I think there's that like fine line. But this movie is so grounded and so dirty and not majestic and presented in a way that it's like, oh, this is glorious and we're the glorious Vikings. It's like, yeah, they have customs and the things they're doing, but man, it's rough. Like for the regular folks in this, village, times are rough. And we'll see a shift in the movie where we, from the beginning, and we go to kind of where the dude is set up now. And you're like, that's not that impressive. What is impressive about this? They're just like on the side of this mountain, So I think that's pretty cool. He's always attempting to base things in reality and ground it to have it make sense for other people. So I think that's it for me in the beginning, Shawn. I think we should, I had other notes.
I know you're gonna have a lot of bits here, and no stone will go unturned. There is no Vicky Vale of the Northman, because the story that actually happens here is worthy of what is happening in the movie. So again, Robert Eggers with the super detailed language and everything. I'm just going to do the best I can. Ready? So we're at a volcano. We got a man speaking to Odin, summoning a Viking, summoning a prince destined for Valhalla.
Yeah, I love that. The right away we get the gravelly black metal kind of voice happening. Yeah, that's fantastic.
AD 895, ships arriving at an island. Young child Amleth, he's stoked that his dad is home, tells his mother, the princess Nicole Kidman, who's about to hit him for like opening the door without her, like knocking.
Yeah.
The Raven King has arrived. Ethan Hawke, our man, Ethan, happy to be home with his wife and kid, gives his kid this necklace he got from another man in battle. King's brother arrives. I'm going to call him Fjorner because that's just what it sounded like to me in my brain.
Yeah, and I think what a great greeting too for this guy. Hail, Lord King! Like, wouldn't you love that, Shawn? If
Walking
when you
in,
home,
being I have
Hail,
not. I have not
Lord
fought
King.
enough battles for that or taken any swords to the liver.
I mean,
for that.
you know, you take the Long Island Railroad enough. I think somebody should say "Hail, Lord King" when you walk in the house, right?
Or at
Just
least
throwing
give
that
me a
out
like free friggin' train pass for the year.
and then say "Hail, Lord King" when they.
Yeah, that's all right. They cheers Fjorner with a drink. This is Raven King's brother. But here comes Willem Dafoe, who is, I guess, the town jester.
The jester, yep.
Talking smack about the princess. Fjorner wants to kill him right there, but the Raven King's like, nah, dude, this guy's funny. That's why I keep him around.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's a super tense scene because he's talking smack. There's like a baby crying. There's just like a lot going on. It's like, hey, I'm glad you're home. Now let's have this awkward conversation. So we certainly know while the king wasn't there, the tide is kind of shifting. There's something afoot that makes this guy comfortable enough to take shots, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is the same dude we see later because unless I didn't know if he played two different characters.
No, it's the
because you
same
can't
character.
see his face really when he's a jester. You just hear his voice, and I was like, oh, that's the homie Willem,
right? But like he's able to do this and be protected by it, so that tells you, you know, that while the king was gone, some feelings have changed on him. Yep.
They hand the king's brother his own little baby, and they all cheers. Skull. Skull, I think, is the cheers.
Yeah, they do it at I love it. They do this at Minnesota Vikings football games, the skull chant, and I think it's like one of the dumbest chants in sports because they're sitting in a giant, you know, air conditioned and or heated dome with their plastic Viking hats on. Minnesota Vikings,
Philly Eagles fan, so he's just
Minnesota Vikings are some of the worst fans in the NFL. But you know, it's these grown men who grew their beards and they're wearing plastic hats. There's nothing tough about it. You're gonna get in your Hyundai Sonata and go home. You're not. There's no.
This is crazy. Vertebrae really wants a football podcast because this motherfucker will unleash hell's wrath upon you.
I'm just giving facts, Shawn.
You can see how subdued. Write it down.
Shout out.
You can see how subdued he stays on the podcast. You open the Pan's Labyrinth of football, and this fucker is going crazy.
It shifted, Shawn.
That was great to see that come out of you.
Don't get me started on football teams and AI art.
Wow.
But, yeah, I'm gonna get riled up. That's
that was the realest moment on this podcast.
That's for Tom Henderson, who's a big Buffalo Bills fan. Unfortunately, the Bills lost, and then his quarterback got very upset. But yeah, and that one's for Richard Christie too, because Richard Christie's listens and is a huge football fan. So there you go. But yeah, when you're pretending to be a Viking with a little plastic hat on, not as tough.
The king got injured in war. He got stabbed in the gut. He's telling the queen, our son's too soft, and we got to harden him up if he's going to be a warrior. But the queen just wants to get laid, but the king doesn't want to hear it. He's mad about the wound. He wants to die by the sword with honor.
And Shawn, she's weaving in this scene, and she's like, it's called tablet weaving. And it's very symbolic for them. It's kind of like weaving the three goddesses of fate together. So it again, Eggers is giving us something extra. He didn't have to have her doing that, but we're adding to it. And now I think we're headed into one giant burping and farting party, Shawn.
We'll get into it in a second. The king's training his son not to be such a little wuss. They go to this ancient room. There's a large stone with Odin on it, and they enter this chamber. So they're snarling like wolves. Father and son, they're howling, they're barking. In the chamber, there's Willem Dafoe, but now he's not a jester. He's the witch doctor. He's got this mask on, asks if they're wolves or dogs, and feeds them this like bloody, briny broth with bones in it.
Oh, I don't know, man. All fours, half naked there's a lot of half nakedness in this movie, or all naked in this movie. I couldn't do this, Shawn. This would be imagine your pops is like, hey, we got to do this.
We got to bark and
Got
drink this blood broth
in this cave with like, and it's like I think it's mead. So it's like an alcohol, right? That they're giving this kid. So yeah, they call it, in one of the notes I had, they called it vision mead of knowledge, a divine drink from Norse mythology, brewed with blood of the wise Kvazer mixed with honey. So it's
That
like
makes
they were
sense,
like,
yeah.
oh, this is going to taste awful, so we'll mix it with a little
a
honey.
little
Good for your
drop of
throat.
honey.
Good
Yeah.
little drop of honey for your throat. But
I'm trying to understand what the witch doctor's telling him. He's like, this is, yes, the vision mead of knowledge is going to teach them to live and die with honor, to die in battle, be rewarded with the Valkyrie warrior maiden who will carry them to Valhalla.
yeah, y'all want to be carried to Valhalla. That's a big deal. That's a big deal for them. So remember that.
King is face down in the plate. Ethan Hawke, he's eating it all up. He's taking in all this liquid. His son is doing the same thing. The masked man tells them, prove you're not a dog. So the king burps in the witch doctor's face. They look at the son, who then lets out a fart. And the Raven King goes, I smell a clever pupil. And I'll be honest with you. It was at this moment that I kind of checked out. And I was like, this is not going to be my favorite Robert Eggers movie. And there's a lot of burp and fart jokes in The Lighthouse.
There is.
But I liked how they were done. And this was sort of like Beavis and Butthead-y, which are like, that's my idols. Like I was raised on Beavis and Butthead. I love everything Beavis and Butthead do. But this felt too out of place for me. And I kind of checked out after this.
I think two things. One, I think I can get that because it's a little jarring, but I think what happens immediately following that is so weird that it brings it back in place. And I think this happens, this burping and farting so early on into this movie that we haven't built up the relationship with them. And then it gets like we have all these deposits in the bank, and then we make a weird turn, and you're along for the ride because we built such a big foundation. I think it's so early in the movie that it is a little jarring, and it is the first time you see it, you laugh. You actually kind of laugh, like you're like, huh, this is supposed to be lighthearted. Like maybe we're getting really weird with it. But then we make this turn, Shawn, where I think it saves it a little. But yes, the first time I saw it, I was like,
where is this going? Where is this going?
But it's funny because it's okay in The Lighthouse. It doesn't pull us out of The Lighthouse.
Yeah. So it's just the way it's executed.
Yeah. I think it's how we look at it, right? The Lighthouse, I feel like we could relate to those two dudes a little bit more.
We are those two dudes.
Right? Yeah. Whereas I don't think we can relate as well to the Viking lifestyle.
We are not those dudes.
We are not
definitely
Vikings.
the lighthouse keepers.
Right. So I think that's where if you can't really relate to them and you're looking at them as like, these got to be like the toughest dudes ever, and they got to be whatever, when it gets a little sort of jokey, it feels weird. I don't know if it's meant to be a joke. Maybe that's part, Eggers, man, maybe this is part of their ceremony and we don't know about it. But, gas, no matter what age you are, Shawn, fart jokes,
always
gas can make you laugh.
Always funny. King says at every passage, one should turn an eye, be a spy. There are foes everywhere. A man needs to be wise enough to be a fool. If only the king took his own advice. King asks how Odin lost his eye. The son says to learn the secret magic of women. King says never seek their secrets, always pay them attention. Women know the mysteries of men. King tells his son, I live in honor, keep your family safe. King tells his kid, if I get killed, you must avenge me or live in shame. The kid says he will not rest until he drinks their blood. They tell him this is his inescapable fate. They make him swear. We see him floating in the air.
Yeah.
The king removes his bandage, shows his gigantic scar. The kid starts crying, and Defoe catches the tear and says, this is going to be the last one you shed in weakness, and you'll get it back when you need it most.
Being thrust into manhood on all fours in the cave.
Cute. The kid puts his hand on his dad's wound, and they tell him, behold the tree of kings. So this is like a reoccurring thing that happens in this movie that I'm like, what the hell's happening here? But the more I see it, the more I understand.
It was gross. Like he's into the wound, and then we see this crazy tree, Shawn, and right away I'm like, where's Vecna? It looks a little Stranger Things. It actually does. But yeah, this is going to be the fine line that Eggers has to ride with this film, that he wants to head into this mythological stuff and this weird world while trying to keep it grounded. And I think I think for some people it was a bit much, and then some people, he pulled it off perfectly. But there's certainly it gets weird, really fast.
We got this tree. There's a bunch of bodies on it. At the very top of this tree is the kid, Amleth, holding a branch connected, I'm guessing, to the Raven King.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. A lot of this shit is super confusing to me.
Yeah, and it's fine. We don't have to do.
I feel stupid when I watch Robert Eggers movies.
We are not the Viking podcast, so it's okay.
So they leave this chamber. After all of this weird shit, they leave this chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
But, my friends, this brings me to my milking of the alpacas moment.
Milking of the alpacas moment.
As they leave this chamber, and immediately the king gets killed by his brother, Fjordur.
Yes. And it's funny, if anyone has read this story, I guess they're not surprised by it, but like I hadn't even heard of the story before this movie.
I had watched this movie, and then watching it for this podcast again was like, oh shit, because I completely forgot that it even happened.
Yeah, it comes out of nowhere. The clues are there in the beginning. There's some clues with tone and everything, and obviously it's based off a story, so if you knew the story, you would know it. But yeah, surprise for me too.
King calls his brother the half-breed, tells him to kill him, tells him he's a sham. Your kingdom will fall. This treason will haunt you forever. And the dude chops the king's head off.
Kids watching.
And he says, go get the kid. So the kid gets caught. And he bites this dude's nose off.
Or he cuts it, right? Doesn't he cut it?
Oh, he cuts it off.
He has a little like blade, like a little hidden blade, and we see the noseless in Seattle over there. We see him later on in the movie. Yeah.
Kid returns to the village. Everybody's dead. Brother takes the queen as his own. Dude who got his nose cut off sits there and lies and tells him, we drowned the kid at sea. His body sank. But then we see the kid out at sea pushing a boat, and he says, I'm going to avenge you, father. I'm going to save you, mother. I'm going to kill you, Fjordur. And he repeats this over and over again. Right in the middle of the ocean. It's fucking horrifying.
Right away, he's focused, and noseless guy has had one of the worst days on his job that he's ever had. So he's certainly not going to tell his boss that the kid got away. There's no way he's going to say that. He's going to say he took my nose and he also got away. Like, that's just... Because, like, honestly, what are the chances the kid would survive anyway? Right? So it's pretty, you got the 1 in a million kid that's going to have his mantra immediately locked and loaded and be reciting it, like, for years and over again while he's rowing this boat in perceivably super cold weather, and he's got no food. He's got no anything, right? Just the clothes on his back. So, yeah. That's some focus, Shawn. I don't give a lot of credit to that amount of focus.
I don't have it. Maybe an AD 895, but not now.
I would love to know what the AD 895 version of this podcast would be. I think it'd just be you and I hiding in the woods,
grunting,
talking about things like we do, hoping hoping that nobody finds us.
Smashes our head in with a rock.
Yeah.
Years later, Amleth is grown. He's on a boat rowing with a bunch of other dudes, and they spot these other guys and pop some arrows in them. They all have themselves a laugh.
Mm-hmm.
There's ritual going on. A bunch of dudes dancing around a fire in rain, chanting, banging on their shields, howling like wolves. We see Amleth got a wolf head on his head, yelling and screaming like a maniac till his eyes are rolling in the back of his head.
Yeah, this is the part of like kind of Viking culture. Like I'm not really into this stuff. Like I don't think I could put myself in certain parts of movies, and I don't want to be like the half naked guy with the wolf thing dancing around a fire with a bunch of people. Like that's not my jam, you know?
Seems pretty liberating, I think.
Yeah, you think you'd be into it?
With the wolf head.
Yeah.
Without the wolf head, it just makes it weird.
I think it's a lot of fun probably when you're drinking all that mead.
Yeah,
It's probably it's probably pretty crappy when you wake up in the morning.
So now they invade this village. They're slaughtering everybody. They round up survivors, lock them in a house, burn it down. These guys kind of suck. I know it's the olden days, but I mean, these guys suck.
Yeah, so they grab up all the women and like kids and put them in their house and burn them, and women and children are gathered up and put into a house and it's set on fire, or building and set on fire.
Insane. Turns out this village that's now burnt to the ground got their own witch doctor. Amleth enters the witch. Do you know who the witch is?
Well, her character name is Cirrus, and she's played by Bjork.
I had no idea. I accidentally found out about it when I was Googling something else, and I was like, Bjork? And I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, she is this town's witch doctor. Just like Willem Dafoe was for Amleth when he was a kid, Bjork is now the witch doctor at this place. She tells Amleth, even though his brother stole her eyes, she can see Amleth. He says he ain't got no brother. She says he is Prince Amleth. He turned his back on his fate. She takes the last tear from when he was a kid and puts it in his hand. She says, right the wrong, remember your dad. She tells him all about the next 90 minutes of this movie that we are going to watch. She basically lays it out for him. The volcano, his uncle, following this creature to find an ancient sword. At the end of his path, another journey will begin, and there will be a maiden king.
And she is a mystical prophet for this village, and she has this crazy headdress on, Shawn, that has these cowrie shells and bells over her missing eyes, and it's supposed to symbolize fertility and warding off evil spirits. And she begins to guide our hero on his hero's journey, Shawn, on his path of vengeance. And yeah, I wrote in my notes, I'll tell you in a second. I'm going to get to it once.
Vengeance has been a common theme these past couple of episodes with the Batman and the Northman. The Vikings are branding their slaves, sending them to places all throughout the world. One of them is being sent to Uncle Fjorner, who killed the Raven King. But his uncle's got this new spot because his kingdom was taken over, and now he's a sheep farmer. A raven lands near Amleth, and he knows this is his dad being like, come on, this is it. Take your chance. So Amleth boards the ship heading to his uncle's spot.
I was going to say, so he, this uncle's become a sheep farmer. So he had this kingdom that he wanted so bad, and he loses it. I'd like to think he lost it immediately because he's just an inept leader. And then this dude's like, you know what? I'm going to brand myself so they think I'm a slave. I'm going to cut my hair. And I put in my notes, this dude is far beyond driven, Shawn. Far beyond driven.
Good album.
You got to add something from Far Beyond
Strength
Driven.
Beyond Strength, I think, would be the necessary song for this.
Yeah.
On this ship, we meet hottie Anya Taylor-Joy, Olga.
Mm-hmm.
Then I put my notes. This just sucks. This sailing on the boat with the water and the cold and the dark, no lights. This is AD 95. Just the light of the moon. We're rocking all over. This is hell.
You could die at this point. You could die from a cut, from a common cold. We meet Olga of the Birch Forest. Fantastic name. But he gets lucky here, Shawn. He meets this very pretty girl on the boat. What are the chances that
right off the bat
that these two good-looking, in great shape folks would meet up with each other?
Who'd have thunk it? The quarterback and the head cheerleader, never. What? There's a whole flashback of his dad being killed in the Tree of Kings, and we see the ship headed towards this massive tree. I'm guessing it's the Tree of Kings. This is some of that artsy shit that is hard for me to process.
Yeah, and a reoccurring theme of this tree and branches of life and family tree and all that kind of stuff.
So they arrive at Iceland, beautiful spot I've been to before. So you said they filmed in Ireland. Did they film in Ireland?
Filmed in Northern Ireland.
It was
yeah,
because it looks a lot like Iceland, which is just this big, beautiful, untouched by the filthy hands of man, like just an absolute spectacle to see.
Yeah, they've unless they went there for a little bit, the primary focus was in Northern Ireland.
The first dude Amleth sees is Noseless.
Mm-hmm.
Amleth's telling Olga his story, why he's here. He wants to kill his uncle and reclaim his kingdom.
And what a crappy, I wrote in my notes, Shawn, what a crappy little kingdom this guy has.
Nothing.
What a lousy job he's done.
She tells him she's Olga of the Birch Forest. Tells Amleth he can break men's bones and she can break their minds. Is she still Thomason from The Witch? This is my question.
No.
How do you know?
I don't.
I'm calling Robert Eggers.
I'm going to give an assessment and say no.
So now we get the traitor uncle, Fjorner, with his kid. They're working. The kid's complaining that they got to work. They got slaves to do the work. Why do we got to work? None of us should have to do it. But here comes a new shipment of slaves. Uncle is not impressed. He wants them all sold. Amleth is face to face with his uncle, knowing this is his only chance. He takes one of the dudes, throws him on the ground, starts grunting and screaming his ass off. And Fjorner's like, I like the cut of your jib. Let's take this guy. And also, the pretty blonde as well. So they take Olga and Amleth.
This is our Star Wars picking out of 3PO and R2-D2 droid moment with the Jawas right here, right? As we head off into our hero's journey.
I didn't see any of this. I'm glad you picked up on all of it. They got all the slaves doing back-breaking work. Amleth needs access to this one spot. He sees one of the slave dudes carrying this big thing of rugs, and he just shoves him off, and he's like, go have a piss. Amleth gets access to this spot that he needs. These two guards are like guarding it with their swords. Inside is the mother from The Witch. Also, one of the blankets hanging has like the Tree of Kings on it. In this spot, Amleth finds Fjorner and his mother and Olga. Now everything the witch doctor said to Amleth is happening. In the dark of night, he follows this wolf beast thing. The witch told him to follow the tail. He follows it to a cave. Inside the cave is another witch doctor who immediately knows that this is Amleth. The witch doctor has the head of the Willem Dafoe witch doctor.
Yeah.
He says the head speaks of days, future, and past. Says Fjorner cut out Dafoe's eyes and tongue before killing him. So Amleth says, I will avenge you too. But then the witch doctor says, Fjorner also cut off his ears, so he can't hear you. The witch cuts off a piece of hair from Dafoe's head and throws it in the fire, and the head begins to speak to Amleth, who is searching for the weapon of his revenge.
Yeah, they call this guy the He Witch, is what they referred to in their making of notes. And this, he's just revealing everything. What's interesting about this movie, Shawn, is maybe when you first watch it, you're not picking up on everything. But when you watch it again, you're like, okay, like literally everything, like a lot of old myths, everything is laid out in the beginning. They're telling us what's going to happen. And you almost know for a fact there's no way that this movie ends with Amleth and Olga sitting in their own little village
in a living
with a bunch of children having a great time. Yeah. Like you just know that's not
Chef Boyardee.
Yeah. Oh God, Chef Boyardee. Gross.
Have you Chef Boyardee?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't had it in like 15. I just bought a DiGiorno pizza. I haven't had DiGiorno in like 20 years. But I was like, I gotta eat something for dinner. Anyway, yeah.
I go Elio's if I gotta go frozen.
It was right next to the Elio's, and I was like, I needed something else.
But my go-to of like not Chef Boyardee, but I still love a Hungry Man dinner. with the little compartments. You got the chicken, you get your little dessert, you got the see, this is why Shawn and I can't be Vikings, because we need somebody to put it in a container with little sections for us to safely eat it. We're not wandering into he-witch ceremonies. Also, too, like what stinks is when they tell you this stuff, like this is what's going to happen. You're getting into this fate versus destiny type stuff, right? We're headed in our hero's journey, and it's like, well, this kind of stinks because I know this is going to happen no matter what, I guess. I don't know, unless just run off and hide, or like, would it still happen, right? But this dude's so determined that he's going to plow right through. All he wants is vengeance. That's it. Just revenge.
He's searching for the weapon of his vengeance. The foe tells him it's a rare blade forged underground, Draugr the Undead. It can only be used at night. The witch doctor tells Amleth he has to choose between kindness or hate. Amleth only knows revenge. He wants to know where to get the sword. The doc tells him he must visit the sword's owner. He's got a snake and he throws it at Amleth, but when it lands at his feet, the snake becomes a rope.
And I love this. So we're going to get this mound dweller. So awesome. I love this part with this mound dweller. And this is, sword is forged with rare materials, and its name means undead or ghost. So it's got this supernatural thing. So he needs to commit this vengeance to get his revenge. He needs this special
blade
sword, and this is in a lot of mythology, this is what happens, right? He's getting his Draugr. Luke Skywalker is getting his father's lightsaber.
Is this just Star Wars? Is this
right?
movie?
Well, this is where Star Wars is based off of all this mythology,
yeah.
right? So that's what's happening.
I love this parallel. I was completely blind to all of this.
All of them, because they're all kind of based in the same mythology, and it traveled from culture to culture.
Wow. Amleth uses his rope to access the spot underground. There's this dead dude in armor sitting on a throne, holding the sword. Amleth grabs it. The thing comes to life. The guys battle it out. There's a spot of moonlight shining right down into this chamber they're fighting in. So the thing avoids it. So Amleth pushes it into the light, which stops it from moving. He takes the sword, cuts off its head. It falls bent over, so he takes his head and puts it up its ass.
Yeah, I will tell you, Mound Dweller, what a fantastic band name, Shawn.
Phenomenal. Mound what is Dweller. It? M-O-U-N-D, Mound Dweller?
Yeah, what a great name for a band, right? I don't think you wouldn't be like a Monomarth type band, right? I think you would be Mound Dweller. I feel like would be
good death metal.
Maybe a little like definitely a crusty type band, maybe a crusty death metal band, maybe. It could also be a band that kind of fits in the Converge world. I could see that too. Mound Dweller with some weird logo, and the album cover is just a bunch of like splattered paint with a B in the corner or something. I don't know.
This is a golden podcast for band names. Throughout the years, that has been a running bit that we have found some great band names. And
I will give you a project. I'm going to give a project out.
Yeah.
To anyone who listens to this podcast.
Good luck.
You go through all 146 episodes and you give me a list of every single time we've said that would make a good band name, and I'll send you a prize pack.
Fuck yeah.
You got to go through them all.
That's a lot of episodes,
It's a lot of work, but if you do it, I will send you a really fun prize
Mound
pack.
Dweller is certainly one of my favorites.
Mound Dweller. I almost want to like make that logo, Shawn. That's our band. We'll never play any shows. Could we? This is I'm going off on a tangent real quick.
Go ahead.
Let's make a fake band. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Well, when you do your shows, we'll add Mound Dweller to it, but like they'll never show up because like something happened, like the band broke down, or somebody got sick, and then it'll just build the aura of what this Mound Dweller band could be. I've never heard them. Like people will spread rumors, be like they're the most insane band, right? Yeah.
And we don't even technically exist.
Yeah, they don't exist, and they've never actually played a show. Mound Dweller.
If you listen to this podcast and you start a band and you name it Mound Dweller, Vertebrae will do a logo for you.
Yeah, but I get a free T-shirt out of it.
Yeah. Amleth wants his sword. Amleth has his sword, and he gets close to Fjorner. He's ready to kill him, but his spot gets blown up by Fjorner's dog, who begins growling at Amleth. So Amleth snarls back at the dog, which gets scared and leaves. Fjorner retreats to bed and doesn't know how close he just came to getting his head chopped off.
Yeah, I don't think I can scare a dog with a snarl, Shawn.
No, I think even your dog would probably laugh at you.
Yeah, I think so, for sure.
First, Fjorner wants to get laid, so he goes to Olga. She's on her period. He doesn't care, so she rubs her hand on herself and then in his face. He gets pissed off and leaves. Amleth again tries to unsheathe the blade, but can't because he's in the light of the moon and it won't come out of the holder. So Amleth hides the blade. He knows his fate. The witch from the other village told him he will face his foe at the volcano. He knows that now. So until then, he is going to raise hell all over the place and make this dude's life a nightmare.
Yeah.
Amleth and his girlfriend Olga get sent out to the King's Games for Activities Day.
It's field day.
Fjorner has two kids, older kid who was the baby at the beginning that he got handed, I'm assuming, and a new child with the princess who he took hostage. His older kid asks Amleth if he can fight at this gathering, the field day they're going to, and Amleth says yes. So Noseless, the guard, grabs Amleth and walks away with him.
And his older kid is like every skinny, like metalhead fan with the weird, like the extra thin mustache he's definitely gonna tell you that the band you like, that album you like isn't any good, and they were actually better on the B-side of some album you never
when only
heard
he
of.
knew about them.
Yeah, when only he knew about it. Like 100%, both of us know somebody like this who will do that to us at the drop of a hat. And this kid has that written all over it. Can't stand his face as soon as I see him. Shawn, can't stand it. And also, they're headed out right now to this game called, I'm going to see if I get this right, not liquor. So it's an ancient Icelandic ball game. It's a combo of lacrosse and MMA is what I saw online that people wrote, but there was no MMA. So it's just a cross of like lacrosse and fighting with sticks and a goal. And yeah, this is a brutal game.
So a ball gets dropped in the middle. And the teams are on both sides. They run at each other with clubs and beat the shit out of each other for the ball. The goal is to get the ball, run it over to the post, and hit it like a baseball and knock the ball off the post for a point.
But you can also beat people with your stick. And it's just, yeah, Shawn and I, this is a repeat theme in this podcast.
I ain't a man. I ain't even half a man. I get my ass whooped so quick.
Yeah, I would hope they would need somebody to craft the sticks.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
I'll haul the gear up the mountain.
Yeah, like water boy.
Yeah. I'm not playing. No. So Fjorner's kid is pissed at Amleth's team for losing, so the kid jumps in the game himself, and we got big bad Mama Jamma dude who's ready to kill everybody, knocks the kid out cold and is about to smash him with his club until Amleth kills the guy by head-butting him to death. The kid's alive and asks if he won the game.
Insanity. The whole I never understand headbutting, by the way, because you're using your own like head too, right? But like he basically just smashes this dude's face in, and and saves the kid, right? This all starts to feel a little bit like Gladiator, and the kid in Gladiator and stuff. It starts to kind of feel like that a little bit. But again, all of these myths are sort of rolling together in a lot of ways. But yeah, this movie, Eggers doesn't do short movies, Shawn. He when he dives in, he dives in. And I want to ask you, I don't want to do it at the end. I want to do it now because at the end you're going to be exhausted at this.
We're doing great.
Where do you put this in your Eggers?
It's the last
film
for sure.
It's last.
Sure. Yeah. But I mean, I don't I I dislike it less after reviewing it for the pod. I think it is a cool movie, and that I just saw that part once, and it really took me out of it. And I was like, whatever. Like I'll just like all of his other movies. I don't like every band's album from bands I like. You know, I don't need to like every Robert Eggers movie.
Yeah.
But there are things about this that I think are really cool, really fun.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's kind of, for me, I think on a Monday I could say The Witch is my favorite Eggers movie. On Tuesday I'll say The Lighthouse. So I think it's hard for me, me, and putting things in order. But I would say, like, if I had to, I would say it's The Witch, The Lighthouse, and then it starts to get a little funny for me because right after watching Nosferatu, I would have said Nosferatu. And now after watching The Northman, I would have said The Northman. I will tell you, I like the ending of The Northman much better than I like the ending of Nosferatu. So if I had to just judge all of that out, I would probably put The Northman a little bit ahead. But if you ask me next week, I could change my mind.
We love ourselves some Robert Eggers on a Madness Pod. He's
Imagine,
like,
Sean, if we ever got him on the podcast.
Are his DMs open? I'm gonna use this as a note to. If his DMs
I don't know. I don't think his DMs are open. I don't even know if he has social media. I think to get a hold of Robert Eggers, you got to send a raven somewhere.
Good
but
idea.
Sean, he's gonna, Werewolf is gonna come out towards the end of the year, so maybe we start to ramp up
press run.
trying to see if he gets on a press run.
Who's his publicist? All we need to know is his publicist.
The awkward thing is, I think we would just there's like 1,000 questions we want to ask, but some of it would just end up with us being like like Chris Farley would just be like, remember that time?
Like, what's your favorite?
Remember that time in that one movie when you did whatever? That was really cool.
Yeah.
Just end up. What did you say? You want to know what his favorite?
What's his favorite Metallica song? What's his favorite Godzilla movie?
Yeah. What is Robert Eggers? What is his favorite meal?
Yeah. You had to take your eggs. You do bacon, egg, and cheese. What kind of bagel you eat? I'm gonna judge you on
where are you getting a cheesesteak? Where are you getting a cheesesteak from Philly, Robert Eggers? Where are you going? What place are you going? You going to Angelo's? Where are you going?
Is he from Philly?
No, I'm just giving random questions.
Oh, I figured he was from Philly.
Yeah, we're just trying to.
I'll drive out there.
We're just trying to bond. We're just trying to bond, Sean. So we're just going to talk about, things we like.
We got the older son. The kid that vertebrae can't stand his face. He tells Amleth because he saved his brother's life, he's got certain privileges. His slave work is going to suck less. And he can even get himself a pick of one of the ladies, but he tells him he will never be free and always be a slave.
Yeah, it's easy for him to say that because he's got his daddy protecting him. We got the skinny little church burner over there trying to throw his weight around.
Now we got the big ass forest orgy happening. Amleth and Olga get it on. It turns out Olga's a witch. I said she's Thomason. Vertebrae disagrees. She's going to help Amleth using her earth magic. She gives him the big red mushroom from Super Mario Brothers and tells her tomorrow they begin their reign of chaos. Also a great band name.
Reign of Chaos?
Hell yes.
Yeah. For sure. Add that to the list. Whoever's charting it, we just gave you the first one.
In one episode.
In
15 minutes. Now Amleth has direct access to Fjorner because of these newfound privileges. And once it's nighttime, Amleth kills his first set of many. He feeds his blade the blood it craves.
Yeah. Tomorrow, the night the blade feeds.
Next day, the older kid is freaking out looking at these bodies, which were his friends. They are now chopped up and splayed on the side of a house with arrows stuck in them. And the kid's ready to chop out everyone's eyes and tongue. Fjorner got his own witch doctor, tells him these men were killed by a spirit with a hungry blade who will return. She prepares a virgin for sacrifice to appease the spirit, but all the animals in the village start freaking out. Fjorner, what's up?
It's getting wild.
Fjorner's dog even attacks him, so he stabs the dog to death. Why? Because no animal makes it out alive from Madness Pod.
It's been a while, actually, that we've had this happen. I was not excited about that part.
Yeah, it sucked. All the animals are attacking and killing the guards, ripping out their throats, just total mayhem. Amleth saves the virgin from being sacrificed, and Fjorner finds his witch doctor tied up where the virgin was, and hanging above her, upside down, gutted, is her intern. Olga begins cooking up her cream of mushroom and skull soup.
Yeah, we're about to make everybody really sick.
Awakening what she calls black dreams, which cause all the guards to start tripping balls, vomiting, and stabbing themselves in the throat.
Shawn, this is the part where I put down in my notes, when the shit goes down, you better be ready.
Great Cypress Hill song. We'll put it on the Madness playlist. Amleth finds his mother, tells him her plan to save her. He's going to kill his uncle. She says he's a dumbass and she never mourned his father. What? Oh, shit.
She says, Shawn,
yes,
would be my milking of the alpacas moment, because I did not expect this at all.
She said she was used to provide the Raven King a son. His dad just liked his silver and his whores. She starts talking smack about the dead Raven King, saying how much she loves Fjorner, his brother. She shows Amleth that she is branded with the slave brand. She was forced to be the Raven King's wife. Her kids with Fjorner were out of love. She says she begged Fjorner to kill his brother and to kill Amleth. Whoa. He says he heard her screaming when the Raven King got killed. She said she was laughing. Holy shit.
That is brutal. Part of his revenge mantra is just out the window now, right? Like, just erase that part. Now he's, he's kind of really a little lost at this
One
moment.
down, 2 to go.
Yeah.
She asks Amleth what the hell he's going to do now. And he goes, I'll kill you and everything you hold dear. And I was like, yeah. She tells him he can't. He loves her too much. But if he kills Fjorner and the kids, then he'll be the new king and then they can rule together. And she starts making out with him. Gross.
She goes full Emperor Palpatine, Shawn. Join me and together we can rule, right? This is what she does. This is her move out of nowhere.
He calls her a bitch. She says Amleth should die with his father. He walks right to her son's bed, the one Vertebrae hates, and sticks the whole sword down to the handle in him. He meets up with his girlfriend Olga and says he's heading to the hills, tells her to stay put and tomorrow be ready to run.
Yeah, he's going to run to the hills. We should probably add that.
Done. Look at us, Matt, adding like crazy to the Madness playlist today. Fjorner is confronted with his dead son, finds out his heart has been ripped out. The dude is freaking out. He thinks it's an evil spirit, but mom tells him it's her son, Amleth. Fjorner says they killed him. She tells him he's alive and Fjorner must kill him, but first find the slave he's working with because he's not in on this alone. So Fjorner starts slicing all the slaves' throats. He gets to Olga and she laughs in his face and he goes, of course, you. Why wouldn't it be you? So he's about to kill her until Amleth screams and says he will exchange her life for the dead son's heart, which he then holds above his head.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, it's Robert Eggers could tell us, but why the heart is so important. The kid's already dead, but maybe it's just something they need to have a proper burial. Maybe it's something to do with the afterlife. Like you can't go to Valhalla without a heart or something. But yeah, big deal for them.
The guards attack Amleth. He whoops their asses and Olga makes a run for it, but the guards get the better of Amleth and drag him over to Fjorner. He takes back the heart, and Amleth says, that's not your son's heart, it's the heart of a rabid dog.
Oh, so mean.
Rubbing it in his face. So they hang Amleth up and torture him until he gives up the location of the heart, but he doesn't. He says he can't die here because he dies in battle. Fjorner says he's going to eat Amleth's heart and leaves. And there is one funny part in this movie where
Mhm.
after everybody leaves, there's one guard and he's sitting there with Amla's sword and he's in the daylight and he's pulling it out. And he's going, "Ah!" and like spit's flying out of his mouth and he can't pull it. And he just stops and looks and walks away. And it's very funny.
It's like Thor's hammer, right? Nobody can lift it if you're not worthy. I love that he had him say a rabid dog because it's like he's our hero. So we don't want to think he killed a dog just to take his heart. So it's like, oh, the dog was already sick. He's rabid, like he's gonna die anyway. So like I took the heart type thing.
Bunch of ravens show up
Mhm.
and they chomp away at Amlet's ropes and free him.
Yeah.
They're having a funeral for Fjorner's kid. They stabbed this girl. They chopped this horse's head off. They're covering Fjorner and his last son in the blood with the horse's head, and they chant that they will have their revenge. But to his shock, Amleth is gone now.
What a funeral, Shawn. Holy crap. Wow. They go all out on this thing. Yeah.
Too much.
I think it's just an excuse at the end to have another big party where they dance around with like wolf
Naked.
head things on and naked around the fire.
We get this wild shot of a Valkyrie riding a horse up to the heavens, screaming to Valhalla.
Mm-hmm.
Olga and Amleth get it on in the hot springs. She says he's got to stop living for vengeance, kind of like Batman.
Mm-hmm.
They board a ship and leave. And I'm like, oh, I guess he's not going to kill his uncle anymore. Why is he leaving? And their ship captain is the dad from The Witch.
Yep, Einstein.
Amleth touches a wound on Olga, sees the Tree of Kings. We see the Raven King and Amleth and 2 kids. Amleth says his blood is in her. She's pregnant. Now Amleth is less than stoked because as long as Fjorner's alive, the kids are going to be hunted. So he now jumps off the ship to kill Fjorner. Olga's pissed and summons the gods of the wind to get her to where she's going as soon as possible. And now on the Tree of Kings, we see what's going to be their daughter, and she's wearing a crown.
Right. So we're getting, we're getting Luke and Leia here. that are going to happen. Right. So we got the twins, and he's going to head out. There's nothing this guy likes more, Shawn, than a goal to achieve based in some sort of anger or dissonance. Like,
and even how he has to go get Fjorner, he has to jump off the ship into the freezing cold and then swim 20, 30, 40 mile. Like what?
Yeah, he doesn't care. This guy is going to do it no matter what, and it's going to be dramatic when he does it. And yeah, one of the most determined dudes ever put on film, probably, Shawn. This guy is determined.
He's got a purpose. Back at Fjorner's, a volcano explodes. We're getting to the finish line here, kids. Amleth has returned. He's killing all the guards. He finds Noseless and says the young boy that you hunted down and took your nose has returned with an appetite for the rest. And he slowly sticks the blade in the dude's nose all the way into his skull. It's pretty sick.
Some would say he has an appetite for destruction.
I mean, that's an album. You want to do a song off that record? We can do one off that.
Yeah.
Fjorner kisses his wife and kid goodbye. Tells her to keep the kid safe and hands her a knife. Amleth shows up and she starts stabbing him, protecting the kid. So he stabs mom in the heart and she thanks him. But then the kid attacks like a little gremlin on his back, just stabbing him a million times. So Amleth chops his ass in half. There's Fjorner staring him down. He approaches, but he puts his sword away and grabs a dead family. He says, Amleth, I will meet you at the gates of hell, which is this volcano that's going off.
Right. So it's this, the name comes from this Icelandic volcano, Hekla, which means the gates of hell. Did you go there, Shawn? Did you go to this Hekla?
No. If it involved too much hiking, no, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'll do an hour of hiking max.
Believed to be a gateway to the underworld. And this is where so this movie has it all. Now we're about to get this epic finish on a volcano. We see this volcano in the background earlier in the film. We see smoke coming out of it. We may even see a little bit of lava. So this is like obviously an active volcano. It's not a surprise to them. They're just living there with this active volcano. And
When I went to
Eggers has put.
Iceland, I was on a volcano. I went and I walked in a glacier, but to get to the glacier, you had to go like on a volcano, and they were like,
Mhm.
if it goes off,
Yeah.
get to the van, I guess. But I don't even think you'll get that far.
Yeah, I was in Hawaii, and the active volcano, and you can get to certain days you can get closer to the lava flow because the lava flow is just going into the ocean and like forming new land right before your very eyes. But we got to an area where it had flowed through already, and it's just just this black ground, and there's like a couple like random houses that are there amongst this like sea of black crusty lava. It was pretty amazing. You couldn't on that day. It was too active for us to get too close to it, but you could feel heat in the air from it, and you're not even that
Mother
close to it.
Nature is the scariest shit ever. And the
Yeah,
ocean.
we're about to get it with Shawn. We're about. If you're listening to this right now on Monday when it drops,
You'll
maybe
be
you're listening
wishing
while
you
you're
were further out to the
shoveling snow.
Yeah. I hope this
Uh,
warms you up.
just remember how happy I am about all of that.
Amleth frees the slaves who then burn down the village. Amleth rides to the volcano. He finds his dead mom and her child and the decapitated horse. Another horse is dead, unless it's the same dead
Brutal.
horse. He tells them they're going to meet again. He unsheathes his sword, even though it's daytime. He begins chanting that he will avenge his father, and Valhalla awaits.
And so they created this area in a quarry in Northern Ireland, and they covered it with a bunch of different stuff and sand and rigged all these LED lights to simulate lava flowing when they're doing this battle. So there's smoke, and they add some like special effects of fire and stuff, but the glows and everything they use from LED lights to try to get it. So this is the part where Eggers is going to be like, yeah, I'm going to have them build these houses the way they're built, but we're not going to actually like, there's no way you're allowed to actually film this near anything like this. So they kind of recreate it, and this leads us to one of the most insane endings. Yeah.
We get our epic battle. This is it. You waited the whole movie through farts and through everything, and you get this is what we come to. Fjorner versus Amleth.
Naked
On top of a volcano, lava flowing. Doesn't get more metal than this, ladies and germs.
No, and I put in my notes, Shawn, imagine if this is what I pictured without minus the nudity.
Yeah.
This is what I pictured the Obi-Wan Darth Vader fight to look like back in the day, or
You
the
gotta
Anakin
consider with the
Obi-Wan fight.
nudity.
This is what I pictured it to look like. This is pretty wild.
Fjorner gets the upper hand. Actually seems like he's going to win until Amleth uses his last bit of strength to chop off Fjorner's head. But Fjorner manages to stick his sword right through Amleth. He lays dying in the volcano. Sees an image of Olga with the two kids. He knows they're going to be safe because Fjorner is dead. Amleth dies. The Valkyrie comes and takes him to Valhalla. The end.
Wow.
How did we do that in an hour? That's crazy. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm proud.
What
Sick.
What an incredible movie.
Good
What an
movie.
incredible ending.
Good movie.
All of the storytelling deposits in the bank that Eggers gives us leads us to a naked sword fight on a volcano. Of course this movie would end that way. And of course, it's not like anyone's gets out okay. We have Olga and the babies. There's never going to be a sequel called Olga and the Babies. That's actually be a good band name too, like a folk band, Olga and the Babies. But
Punk band.
yeah, or like a punk band. Yeah, oh, definitely a punk band. They're playing Williamsburg tomorrow night if you want. Come out, even though it's snowing, they'll still be there. Yeah, I when I first saw this movie, Shawn, I liked it. It's an Eggers film. I enjoyed it. When I saw it again for the podcast, I loved it. Now I just you peel that next layer back. This is a movie like his other movies that will keep giving. Every time you see this film again, you're going to see something new that you didn't notice before. So amazing. I apologize for picking such a long movie.
I
but-
thought I was almost positive this was going to be a 2-hour podcast just because it was a 2-hour movie, and I could just tell.
Mhm.
I have math that works out, but I
Mhm.
got to stop obsessing over length, and
No, it's okay. And what I did was, listen, I don't need to show off and show that I did a million hours of research on this. Our next movie, though, is definitely going to
So the
be
next
a
movie is the
two-parter.
voting poll. I was sitting there talking to Capozzi, and he's like, I told him what movie we're doing today, and he's like, "That's not the voting poll." And I was like, "We're doing the voting poll for the next one for anybody." So we've come up with the flow for the year, and it's a Shawn pick, a vertebrae pick, a poll pick, and then we're
Mhm.
gonna try and keep that momentum for 2026 and see where it
Yep.
takes us. So
Yep. So
the next
our
one will
next
be the voting
episode, though,
but
our
this is the
next
vertebrae
episode,
pick.
though,
Vertebrae wanted to do the Northman, and I had a good time doing the Northman.
yeah, yeah, these are two right out of the gates, Shawn. Two incredible films,
And quite similar
for
with the
different,
vengeance.
yeah, a lot of vengeance, but and a lot of the mythology in both of them too. And now we're gonna have, we'll have an episode next week where we can reveal what was picked. We can
Correct.
talk a little bit about that in advance because
Yeah.
I think there's some sort of backstory stuff that we should sort of get into on it so that we can go through the movie.
Setup to the movie.
I think we should do a little bit,
It was
right?
gonna be like a 3-parter because it'd be the setup and then the movie's definitely if it won. Let's see. We're getting ahead of ourselves. I gotta do the math, and you
Yeah.
know how much I've been holding off doing the math because that's my
Yes.
like my least favorite thing to have to do. But no, I will use this as my note to start writing down all of the votes. But you got all your gnarly bits in for Northman. Are you stoked with how your movie episode went?
I am. I thought it was great. It's always enjoyable to listen to you go through the movies after I've seen them. And
See, the thing is, in my movies, I could skip over all the Vicky Vale parts. In Vertebrae's movies, I gotta highlight them because, that's what matters to Vertebrae. For me, I'm just like, nah, we're gonna step over this right here. We're gonna step over.
Well,
that.
in this case, it's not an added character. It's everybody's rolled into one thing,
Correct.
and everybody kind of has a heavy importance to it, except for that one son. I didn't like that kid.
Yeah,
But
that's so funny.
so remember, everyone, if you're listening and you listen all the time and you want to win some killer prize pack from us,
Good luck.
go through every single episode and write down all of the band names that we've ever covered.
So, I mean, you thought it was cold now. Maybe you're shoveling 20 feet of snow. Maybe Capozzi won, and there's just a little wetness on the floor. Regardless, it's about to get real cold on In Madness Pod for possibly the next 3 weeks as we hit maybe like one of the top 10 movies like ever, and one of the first that we said we would ever cover on this podcast. If it won, maybe we do Fargo. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. It'd have to be a last minute write-in, I think, because I think it's well ahead.
So I guess with that, I mean, thank you for checking out episode 147 of In Madness Pod, and we will see. I mean, good luck with the snow. I hope you made it. I hope you got enough eggs and toilet paper because
you got to buy a lot.
Yeah.
6 gallons of milk. Suddenly everybody wants to drink milk like they live on a farm. I will say this too, Shawn, we haven't said in a long time. If you support this podcast, right? Write a review. Give us a 5-star review. Write some notes. Let's move this podcast up a little more. Get more people into this family. Support us. Buy a shirt, like Shawn says in the beginning. Somebody claimed that we didn't promote it in the past, but we do. Buy a shirt, buy a mug. I will tell you, and Shawn doesn't know this, but I'm attempting to prep new files for a new shirt. So let's get a new shirt out there for us.
I love finding out news on the podcast. Very cool. Yeah, just in time for Comic-Con, you know?
Yep.
Right on. So thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for interacting. And that's it, family. I got to go shovel the driveway and put more salt down. I'll see you next Monday for a brand new episode of In Madness Pod.